Hello, and welcome to the RGM podcast. Now, let's address the elephant in the room straight away. I'm not Carl, I'm HAYLEY. I'm one of the reviewers, photographers, and now apparently podcasters for RGM. And you know what? I decided to shove him out the studio and give you all a break. And me. This is, of course, a Tramlines 2025 special. I was in awe of seeing some bands like Pulp, Kasabian, Heather Small, and The Ratings, to name a few. But if I name them all, I'll be here all night. And I was lucky to speak to some of the bands, and quite frankly, I think I got a good pick of the bunch. Let's start with a band who are from all corners of South Yorkshire and a little bit of Chesterfield. If you don't know who I'm talking about already, I'm talking about the Rosadocs. The band have had a killer year and they've been rising through the indie scene with some really impressive crowds and results. So they've got an EP out, they've had a string of near to or sellout shows, and so many of their fans were spilling out of the Lead Mill tent at Tramlines. So I got to speak to Rosadocs, the full band in fact, about their Tramlines performances, what the Ratings have done for them, and also some interesting riders. So see what you think.
Biggest stage we've played so far. We've done it 4 times before. Well, this is his 4th time, and obviously the Lead Mill stage is iconic, so can't wait.
You've been on the library stage before, is that right?
Yeah. Is it 3 times that we played that? Yeah. But I mean, this is a big step up for us, isn't it?
Massive.
It's nice to see that step up, to be fair.
Yeah, and a bigger tent. That's better.
This is first time we've not needed to do the apply to play thing. Which felt quite meaningful.
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to be signed to an agent after our big Octagon show last year, and sort of the calibre of things that we're getting now is just mind-blowing. We're playing alongside people that we've always idolised when we were younger, learning to play guitars, and this year's been incredible.
Still learning to play guitar. And we do get hummus now.
Oh, we get hummus, so we get a rider now. That was without context, that is very strange. We get a rider now.
I'm gonna have to veer off and ask about that now. So, because obviously I know about riders, I know I've seen some pretty extreme ones, but what do you actually ask for on your rider?
So we get beers. We always go for the rum and coke, and then what do we get? We get Kinder Buenos, pack of Quavers, but multi-pack of 20. We go for the hummus with the tortilla chips, and we are a bit partial to the red pepper one as well, aren't we? If that's available, we're here for it.
It doesn't last long, the hummus.
No, the hummus doesn't. As soon as we walk in, straight to the fridge.
There will be rehab for hummus. So
I feel like it may be a problem.
Betty Ford clinic.
You know what? As far as riders go, I'll give that a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Probably needs revising actually. Maybe get some
What do you want to add?
We've been enjoying them.
You're going to add Marlboro Red
to get. We've been enjoying them spritzer things. What are they called?
The White Claws.
Seltzers.
The beers. We're getting a bit old for the beers, I think.
We can't hack it anymore. The hairlines go black. The hair turns grey.
Where you've got to now is brilliant. Have you got observations for the very near future, or is there anything you can kind of tease, or is it all under wraps still?
So we've got a lot of things in play that we've not announced yet. So the plan is basically just to rise through the capacities in the country. Every gig that we're doing is the last 10 shows have been close to sell out or sell out. Like I said, the calibre of supports and everything that we're getting is so much better that we're getting in front of larger engaged audiences, and we've just seen the numbers quadruple.
I think it's just sticking to that mantra the Ratings gave us at Clifton Park last year, just doubling it and believing.
That's it.
Keeping going, just aiming higher.
So you guys opened at Clifton Park for the Ratings. Did that sort of propel you anywhere, or was that a really good experience that sort of gave you maybe even more confidence, or just thought we're here, we're getting there?
I think we noticed I'd say we noticed a big difference after playing it, and it did the confidence boost as well for walking out onto that stage and realising how many of that band's fans also enjoyed our set and everything.
I think it did a lot for sort of the recognisable nature of the band as well, because there was screens at that place and you've got an engaged audience of 20,000 people. I mean, it helps Miles to get recognised in Sainsbury's is what it does.
I'm trying to buy a salad.
But in terms of the shows, obviously the capacities are getting larger for us, and we couldn't have done what we did at the Octagon without the Clifton Park show. It really helped us.
I'll say, so I was there, and I was there from the start, and I was really made up at how many people showed up early for you guys.
We were surprised. obviously we've all been to these massive gigs like Cortina Seaton Park or whatever, and often they're quite empty for like your first band on. So we kind of prepared a centre van. We were happy to just like have his name on poster if you like. Yeah. And then when we walked out and there were as many as there were.
Well, it just hammered it down with rain. And we were all in the tent thinking, oh no, like nobody's going to come. It literally stopped 5 minutes before we went on. The sun came out and everybody just flooded in. And to be honest, you walk out from behind that blacked out curtain and you suddenly see this crowd and you're like, oh wow.
Like for me, it was sort of a full circle moment because I used to live at Clifton, so I grew up on that park as well, so it was just like, wow.
In a tent?
Just waiting for. I mean, we've all known Johnny Lee and all them lads for years, haven't we? And to actually see that is possible.
Yeah, I mean, we started. I mean, 2017 or 18, we played on the New Music stage at Mosborough on Duck Valley Bowl, and it was Twisted Wheel, us, a band called Liberty Ship, and the Raytons. And literally, we just from that moment they have just skyrocketed, and we're really proud of the lads. And they're also the genuinely loveliest lads, and they still are.
Big respect to like the DIY.
One last question quickly, from like an unsigned perspective, like to see more unsigned bands on the lineup and like getting recognised and like getting bigger crowds in, how does that feel?
Well, it just shows it's possible. A lot of these bands that we play with, obviously the legacy acts, and they've done it in the 90s when there was lots of infrastructure, a lot of support. The Raytons have done it all themselves and in a time frame that we've been around. And so it shows you that it is still possible.
They've broken them all.
They have, yeah.
Any last pearls of wisdom or anything you want to say to anybody that might be listening?
Just, we hope everybody enjoys Tramlines this year. It's an incredible festival and what it does for the city of Sheffield. Very privileged to play it once again, and we hope we get asked back.
Honestly, that was a brilliant yet chaotic chat in the best way possible there with the Rosadocs. They are such lovely guys. And you know what? They sound like they've got some really interesting things in the pipeline. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on them. And their EP, The City's No Good for Reflection, is already out for you to get your hands on. So from South Yorkshire and a little bit of Derbyshire, let's throw ourselves over to Birmingham for a few minutes. And not literally, I mean just through this podcast, as I speak to The Claws. So they too have had a bit of rising success over the years and they've grown massively in popularity. They were also playing the Leadmill stage at Tramlines 2025, and I had a chat with frontman Piers Macker and guitarist Liam Deakin about the importance of physical albums, live music and their upcoming album, plus, surprisingly, their love of Yorkshire.
Amazing. Yeah, we think it's one of our favourite festival sets we've ever done. I mean, we've always had a love relationship with Yorkshire anyway. To be invited to Tramlines and have that busy of a tent was just amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of become like a second home, man. We saw that at Leadmill in like December, and it was probably one of the best nights we've had as a band so far. So, you know, to come and play this for the first time, it's been on the bucket list for ages, and like couldn't have asked for any more from the gig. So yeah, it was great.
You just mentioned the Leadmill. How do you feel about its closure?
It's just
devastating, isn't it?
It's just a familiar tale, isn't it, from all around the UK.
Do you know what I mean? It happens all the time, and that amazing venue. Do you know what I mean? We feel so lucky to have played it. I've never been. I said I'm never going to go until we play it, and to have gone and played it and sold it out. And then you hear all the tales, like, you know, on the wall in the dressing room. There's pictures of like Alex Turner and Jarvis Cocker, and do you know what I mean? Like, and the rest that have all got to play that stage. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's devastating. But I'm sure in true Sheffield spirit, it would still continue pushing through these amazing bands that are local to you and stuff, and keep receiving them, man. We can't wait to come back. So
I know we've got to stop doing this across the country, haven't we? Like closing down important places.
Yeah.
Because you're losing all culture. It happens in our hometown as well. Like we're losing all the venues that Sabbath played at, that played their first gigs at, and everything's just boarded up now. We've got to stop it. I know it's the building's still there. It's going to be open, but it ain't the same, is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's still the appetite for it, isn't there? There's still the appetite to go and watch live music. So it doesn't really make sense. I feel like more than ever, especially with like the rise in streaming and stuff. I kind of get why people don't really buy as much music now, but there's still that appetite to be in a crowd and watch a crowd and connect with the band and the people around you, and no matter what happens, that'll always stay true to how it is. But I feel like it needs some government support, definitely, and some wider support. You know, you need some big names shouting about how important these places are.
I get what you're saying about obviously like people buying music as well. I'm big on vinyl. I still love buying vinyl. Am I right in saying one vinyl or like one t-shirt is worth like thousands of streams? So
I think even away from how many streams it is, you know, to be into a band and buy something tangible. You know, I remember being kids and you'd buy like the first Arctic Monkeys record and you'd study it, you know what I mean? You'd want to know like who produced it and what the songs were, and you'd look at the inlay and all the pictures and fantasize about who that band are. And I never want that element of music to go. It's great that vinyl's on a resurgence.
I think there is a little bit like people are just getting a bit sick with the constant like consumerism, like digital things, and losing those like little things like actual physical gig ticket.
Yeah.
Like
it holds all the value.
Like,
do you know what I mean? I remember when during COVID, my mum is a massive like Bob back a day anyway. She was like a massive music fan, and when we were cleaning out the loft during lockdown, she had this book and it was a gig ticket and pictures from the gig, like physical pictures. And I remember looking through it, being completely fantasised that she went and seen Wade at a gig venue that no longer exists, and a picture with a friend, and she said, you know, like you go and queue for an album, and you'd meet someone in the queue who obviously is a like-minded person, likes the same band, and you go, do you want to go grab a beer after? And it's like you make friends for life, and I feel like a lot of culture is lost in convenience.
We're getting it back though.
I've got a massive frame here full of art keys, and I've got all our old gig tickets and pictures and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think they're just amazing to look back on.
Just moving along from that, so I saw you guys supporting the Ratings at Magna a few years ago. I think that was probably the first time I'd seen you locally. And how was it supporting the Ratings? Because obviously now you're both on the same lineup. Obviously Ratings are now headlining. First unsigned band to headline. Both have kind of like gone up the ranks a lot. How would you say life is as a musician now compared to then?
I think the same. I think being on tour with the Ratings especially, I think when we go into the support tours and stuff, we kind of kept our head down and just want to stay out the way and stuff, but they embrace us, man, like the most normal, amazing people you'll ever meet in your life. You know, they invited us into their dressing room and that, and then they're like giving us all their own like booze and waters and everything, and it was like we were thinking, you know, that's how it should be everywhere. And you know, they made the same thing, and I think we were just chuffed to see yesterday, looking at all the footage and stuff of just a local DIY working class grassroots band celebrated in a festival as iconic as Tramlines.
No, I think that like they are kind of, I mean, we're kind of like them in that we're doing our album now independently, and we've kind of been like that from the start. So like for like a band like us, like, you know, it can feel a little bit lonely at some time, like trying to battle through the industry by yourself. But you know, to watch them kind of do what they did, well, it's over the last decade really now, isn't it? Or close enough to a decade. But it's inspiring, isn't it? So it keeps people like us, like, you know,
I love
the dream alive.
Yeah, I love the fact you can't argue with it. Like no matter what they do, you cannot argue with a band who started zero and went all the way up to that iconic moment. It kind of, not only for us, but I feel like it's give every band like a warmth inside.
So just going off slightly from that then, who would you say your musical inspirations are?
Very diverse.
How much time have we got? Now I think core of our kind of musical heart is like the stuff we grew up on. So, you know, when we were kids, and like Arctic Monkeys and that was just starting out, bands like Kasabian and all these people from the noughties and stuff, they're the people who got us into you know, music, like the first CDs we'd have owned. But like it's more so like probably thank collectively like our parents' record collection, skiving off that from being kids, like bands like the Smiths and the Rolling Stones.
Mate, you get into
Oasis,
you get into Arctic Monkeys, and then you end up thinking where you're like constantly digging back and you go, oh, Oasis inspired them, they're inspired by Weller and the Jam and the Beatles, and then, you know what I mean, before you know it, you've got a mod cut and you're wearing a Parker everywhere.
Disco influence in there, like loving people like Nile Rodgers and his songwriting, and David Bowie and the stuff that he wrote is like madly inspiring to us. So I mean, yeah, we could sit here and talk about all the people, but like if you listen to our album that's coming up, it's every single record we've ever, you know, stumbled upon in someone's cabinet. There's a trinket from
just
somewhere.
Like good music, regardless of genre, decade, anything. When you're listening to music and take inspiration from everything, do it. Don't get me wrong, in the van there's some terrible shouts going when someone's on the org. Part of the fun, isn't it?
So I guess like the last question really is like, what can you tell us about the upcoming album?
It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's been a long time coming for us, man. Like we've been, you know, knocking on the door for ages, and we started this band, you know, when we were like 15, 16, coming out of college, you know, not really like thinking we wanted to do it forever. It was just an excuse to go out and get pissed up, you know. When we
mate, like our first gigs were like name the remotely alternative band that was in our set list. You know what I mean, we covered Arctic Monkeys, Oasis, like Catfish, but then it just developed into this thing where we're like, we'll give it a go.
But it's
we'll try and write, and then we're here. Like,
from that point, like you kind of always had like a little in the back of your mind, like a little pipe dream that like one day you'd get to like, you know, record and release your debut album, and finally the moment's come for us, and and like it's a little bit emotional, but at the same time, like we've just wrapped it, we've just finished it and had it mastered, and we're so happy with the record. Like it's everything that we'd have asked for when we were like 17, 18, and
the guy had done it and he said, okay, are you ready to listen to it back? And I don't think any of us were ready to listen to it back like, as a finished thing. And I remember we were all thinking in our heads like, oh, I'm going to listen to this and there's going to be things that I want to change on it. Like I think we were all like close to tears, thinking that's exactly how we wanted our debut album to sound, because it's the sound of four mates who've grown up together from early teens to now, from there all the way there, and it's the sound of that. It's very authentic, I think, and I think it's got a lot to say, and more important, I think they're good songs. It's a very diverse palette and stuff, and I think we're very happy to have it, and can't wait to share the grandkids. Like
Piers Macker and Liam Deakin of The Claws there, tell you what, they are so down to earth, and it just felt like I was having a chat with my mates about music and vinyl and, you know, our favourite venues and bits and pieces like that. And, well, they mentioned their debut album, Victim of a Casual Thing, and it's set to be released on October 17th, 2025. So I'll look forward to that. On to another band now, and our last one of the podcast today, and it's one I've personally admired for some years. So I first saw them in the tiny room of the O2 Academy in Sheffield back in 2021, and now I've seen them almost headlining other stage at Tramlines in 2025, and it's quite a jump. So I'm talking about Liverpool's own Red Rum Club, and they're fantastic. They're soon to release their 5th studio album as well as go on tour. So I got to speak to a few of the Red Rum Club members, Fran Duran, Michael McDermott and Simon Hepworth, about how they were feeling and their success over the last few years.
Very excited. This is probably the most relaxed and excited I've been for it. Maybe because it's a big stage at like a nice late time, so everyone will be up for it.
Your 5th album is in the horizon. Like, how are you feeling about the tour and a new album coming out?
More excited than ever. It's sort of on an upwards trajectory, Red Rum Club at the minute. I'm a bit more nervous, don't know about you for this, but this is like one that we've just done for ourselves. Like there's a few curveballs in there, a few left field tunes. Yeah, it might be a bit different. You know, I think if you're over the age of 45, you mightn't like it.
I'm not nervous at all. I'm just excited to get it out. Everyone to hear all the songs on it.
Probably the least thinking we've ever done when we've made the record. We've just kind of gradually, from our first record to this one. With our first record, we were on one end of a creative spectrum in which we were people pleasing a bit and doing what we think people might want us to do, or what people might like, or what radio teams might play. And then we didn't get any radio anyway, so we thought we may as well do what we want to do. But I think that takes a little bit of vulnerability and bravery, and that's taken us a few albums to really get. And I think this album is probably the last album, Western Approaches, and then this album is the first time I feel like we've really achieved doing what we like exclusively without any ultimatum.
Probably grown together a little bit too, isn't it? In a sense that like probably took us 5 albums to find the common thread or the common ground between 6 of us.
Definitely.
Yeah, because to have 6 of you in a band, it is quite a big band, isn't it? And like, you have got a really unique sound, because obviously you've got trumpet, which most bands don't actually make use of anymore. So 5th album aside, which is your favourite of the first 4?
That's my favourite album.
Wow, that was boss.
For the record, that was not me.
Someone baited that question, so someone's not a fan of any of our. Someone hates it. Probably Western Approaches, but I might. It's probably just because it's the most recent. Yeah. You get bored of the others.
I like How to Steal the World. Like the whole thing, even the artwork's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, that's my favourite one.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Si. How to Steal the World. I was obsessed with it. Making the album and stuff, probably unhealthily, but sometimes I think like art's not supposed to be like you work on it 9 to 5 and then you clock off and it goes elsewhere. It was quite like unhealthily obsessive with that record, but also I think it's one of our best records.
Obviously Buch is the best one, the new one, Buch.
Well, you have to buy it and find out.
So Tramlines then, are you looking forward to your performance later on?
Yes, we're second from top on the second stage. We've been saying for years we're really good, we should have a go, and you know, believing in ourselves and like, but now that we're actually like in the positions and the slots that we want to be on big festivals, we're panicking because we clash with like last dinner party and that. So and we're like, oh, okay, maybe
syndrome.
Yeah, it is. It's set in.
We have to keep reminding ourselves that we are
actually worthy,
all right as well.
Yeah.
Because like the length of the slot, the time of the slot, and who you're clashing with. Going on after CMAT, who we have massive amounts of admiration towards, so you can't help but feel like CMAT should be on after us. Like, just doesn't make sense. Like, an artist that amazing and someone we look up to so much.
Yeah.
But then we have to kind of, you can't have that mindset and walk out onto a stage being apologetic for being there. It's good with us because there's 6 of us. We're able to remind ourselves, no, we're good.
I think we deserve this. Like,
pat ourselves on the back a little bit.
Yeah.
But also we are very aware of the calibre of acts that we're in and around, clashing with bands like Last Dinner Party, going on after the likes of CMAT. It's incredible, like the level of acts around us, so we have to deliver.
And then we've got an hour.
The last thing I want to ask you about is I've recently seen about a Bongos Bingo Red Rum Club collaboration. What can you tell us about that?
Well, there's going to be a lot of collaboration because a lot of people have like sort of jumped on this. When we think about it, really, it's a match made in heaven because you have a good night when you go to a Red Rum Club gig and the Bongos Bingo thing. Like,
and
the
all
ridiculous.
our fans go to the bingo.
I know, our fans are old enough to go to the bingo. There's going to be loads of collaborations, but the first thing is we're going to play a football match against each other.
Amazing.
There's going to be like a Bongos Bingo raffle and DJ set afterwards. We're going to do a little acoustic performance.
You know, like Soccer Aid?
Yeah.
Franny.
Yeah, so we're doing that, and there's a charitable cause there. We're going to sign some, like, there you go, Cheap Thrills are playing, Royston Club. I've just spoke to Royston Club, they're playing.
Yeah, nice.
Royston Club.
Dave McCabe from the Zootons, he said he'd play as well. But he might.
But most importantly, Joe the Blow.
Joe the Blow.
Of course.
Centre forward.
Centre forward, number 10.
For about 5 minutes.
Amazing.
That's going to be on the...
It's a brutal football club.
31st of August, Sunday, 2 o'clock kick-off. It's also on Sky Sports.
Legit.
No.
I had to check.
They haven't seen what we're wearing yet.
No.
Mankinis.
Mankinis, the Red Rum Club.
Matching ones, that's our kit.
Jerseys.
That's
We've
us.
got the body for it.
Brave boys.
The Mankinis.
Any last word before we finish?
Thank you, Right Good Magazine, and thank you...
Right Good.
Really
It's
good.
right good.
Thank you, Tramlines, but we didn't get any Pens and Rails bottle with Red Rum Club on, and it's still got mine and ours.
But we didn't get one this time,
Didn't get
so
this one,
we're probably
so
not going to play the
We'll
game.
never, ever play Tramlines ever again. No, we will. We just want a bigger. We just want Henderson on the rider next time.
That was Fran Duran, Michael McDermott and Simon Hepworth from Red Rum Club there. And as you heard them mention, their next and 5th studio album, Book, is set to be released on the 5th September 2025, if you fancy checking that out. That's all the Tramlines 2025 content I have for you, but we did have some more from Carl. He interviewed Fema, Freddie Halkin and the Raytons as well. That's all on our YouTube channel, which you can check out now. And you know what? I also did some reviews on each day of Tramlines for 2025. They're all on the RGM website, as well as all the latest gig and festival news, and some single and album reviews, which, speaking of which, if you're a band or musician and you want to submit your music for our critique, which I promise, we're very good, then please do. We're always open to hearing your tracks. You just need to pop onto the RGM website and press submit. All the info is there, ready and waiting for you. Now, Carl is practically scratching at the door, waiting to be let back into the RGM studio, so I best give it back. But before that, if you fancy having a guest spot on a future pod, then let us know. Please like and subscribe and follow all our social channels. We're literally on everything. I guess there isn't much more to say. Then thank you for joining me on the RGM podcast. I will hand it back to Carl now until I manage to infiltrate RGM Towers again. See you later.